Why don't we go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture? The most important feature of which is for our spine to be straight and relaxed. We're facing straight ahead with our head tilted slightly forward, and this serves to bring our spine perfectly into alignment. Our mouth is closed, our jaw is relaxed, and if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. And to begin, I'd like you to please gently bring your awareness to the exhalation of your breath. And very gently, allow your exhalation to be just a bit longer and a bit more pronounced than your inhalation. Please feel free to experiment with pausing briefly at the bottom of each exhalation. This meditation technique will allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. Now is not the time to reflect on events that have occurred in the past. Those events cannot be changed, undone, or relived. Nor is this the time to speculate about events that may or may not occur in the future. The future is completely uncertain. Now is the time to be fully present here in this moment. Now is the time to give yourself full permission to enjoy engaging in a practice that's going to bring you a peaceful state of mind and at the same time contribute to the creation of a peaceful world. There is an aspect of the body that is referred to sometimes as the inner body. Some schools of meditation refer to it as the subtle body. And in order to connect with your inner body, I'd like you to please draw your awareness inside of your body and become aware of sensations. These sensations may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Just be the silent observer of these sensations and allow a more tranquil, supple, non-conceptual state of awareness to emerge. The natural tendency of these sensations is for them to travel up into your arms and your legs, perhaps into the region of your chest, perhaps into your face and your cheeks, to inform your meditation, perhaps even inspire your meditation. You may find it beneficial to bring to mind the image of a mountain. The mountain is balanced, grounded, and stable. The mountain has consciousness. As such, you can know, as such, you can know that all it does day after day, year after year, is observe silently. Snow may fall on the mountain, accumulate, and then disappear. A nearby river may rise and then recede. Leaves may appear on the branches of a nearby tree, change color, and then fall to the ground. The mountain simply observes silently. No praise, no blame, no hope, no fear, no expectation. Be like a mountain. Be like a mountain with ancient wisdom consciousness as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. Now, very gently, please redirect your awareness. Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of the surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of nearby mountains, of nearby countries, of nearby continents, of nearby planets. We dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception come to enjoy a complete, perfect state of fearlessness. May all beings without exception be completely free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. So, oftentimes during our Monday, Friday meditations, I open by just inviting folks to ask questions or share something that might be on your mind. I have something on my mind, and so we won't be sitting here in silence if nobody has anything to ask or share. But if you do have something you'd like to ask or share, please ask away. And you Zoomers, please feel free to unmute yourself and share whatever you'd like.
I'm really sure that I'm really happy that Linda invited me to come and do this. She asked me last week, but
Welcome. Thank you for sharing that, Liz. This is Liz's first time to Monday, Friday meditation, and she was just sharing that she's grateful to be here. So we're grateful you were here too. So what I would like to share, so we've been going through over the last few classes and talking about what it means to be happy. Every sentient being in the world has a main wish to be happy. That's something we have in common with each other, with everyone. And not only does everybody have the wish to be happy, it's also the most important wish for everyone. And so that's two really big, important things that we have in common. I'm not going to, I've got some ideas about going further down that path for sure. I'm going to hold off on that because I want to I think that we have a global learning opportunity, and we on this call included, of course. And I just wanted to share some thoughts about that. And it has to do with the conflict in the Middle East, in Israel, Gaza, West Bank, and that entire region. And I don't follow current events very closely. But there are a couple of podcasts that I listen to, and the podcasts that I listen to, kind of the conflict in the region of Israel is front and center. And I'm happy that it's front and center for them because it reminds me that this conflict is taking place. I mean, a funny thing about living in an interesting thing about living in Silver City is we're so isolated that I just find myself kind of becoming oblivious to what's going on in the larger world. And so having these two podcasts remind me of this really, really unfortunate situation is beneficial. I wish the unfortunate situation didn't exist, of course. And the fact that it does, I feel like it's beneficial for me to be continually reminded of this. And it's what's happening in Israel in this conflict, this very long ongoing conflict, is unfortunate. And it would be easy for us to get drawn down into the unfortunate nature of it. It's been going on for so long. So many people have tried to address it and resolve this conflict. Hasn't been successful. I've heard it referred to as a war to the death. It's a fight to the death. And, it would be easy for us, I think, to get sucked down. To speak for myself, it would be easy for me to get sucked down into that and just kind of become despondent about it, despondent in a state of hopelessness. This all wars in general, and this particular war presents a really valuable opportunity for us to practice Dharma in a very practical way. Practice Dharma or whatever our spiritual path might be. What's happening in Israel at the end of the day is a long, outstanding grudge. Basically, it's a grudge. Yeah. At the end, I know there are a lot of reasons that this grudge exists and a lot of history to it and a lot of different layers to it and nuances to it. At the end of the day, it's a grudge. What kind of grudges do you have in your life and in your relationships? Yeah. And what can we do? What should we do to resolve those grudges? Yeah. Forgiveness for me is a loaded word. And kind of what I'm talking about now is resolving those grudges. I'm talking about people toward whom we hold a grudge. Like we're really angry with them, really resentful, holding on to a grudge. It's coming from our side toward them. Yeah. I'm here to tell you that the grudge that's taking place in your relationship or relationships and the grudge that exists in the Middle East are not separate. They're not the same grudge and they're not separate. At some fundamental level, they're of the same essence. So that makes them not separate. So doesn't that present a really important special opportunity for us to make a meaningful contribution to world peace while practicing Dharma? And that is to contemplate whatever grudge or grudges we might be holding and what it might take to release that grudge. Something I learned from one of my teachers several years ago is forgiveness, if that's what's called for, forgiveness can't be rushed. And so, I've been around the block enough times to know that there's not some magic switch that we can flip and say, oh, whereas I was really angry and have been for a long time, I'm just going to flip this switch or snap my fingers and the grudge will be gone. You know, I would invite you to just contemplate those sorts of grudges in your life or resentments, maybe. Um, and for a while, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to say anything. And in fact, probably better that we not do or say anything, even if we do feel like we're ready to release that grudge. Going up to someone and saying, hi, just wanted you to know that I've been really mad at you for a long time. It's reached the level of a grudge and I've let go of it now. Just wanted you to know. Probably not the most skillful and beneficial thing for us to do. Just the last thing I wanted to share with regard to this is has to do with the source of the grudge. And I'm kind of speaking about us individually in this class and kind of in this world. I'm not necessarily projecting it onto the conflict in the Middle East or applying it onto the Middle East. But please keep in mind, for a lot of you, this is something that you already know. But the source of the pain that you are experiencing and that has given rise to this grudge, whether it has lasted for several weeks, several months, several years, however the length and whatever the intensity, this grudge came about because your sense of self, also known as your I, also your ego, was hurt. Somebody did something to hurt your sense of self. Something else that a lot of you know is that your sense of self is illusory. It's not a real thing. It's a made-up idea. So the source of this pain and the grudge we might be holding on to has as its basis something that is illusory and is a made-up idea. As we've said many times in our classes over time, we're not saying sense of self is not nothing. We're not saying that there's nothing there. What we're saying is that this me, this I, this sense of self that I worry about and freak out about and obsess about and get my feelings about, hurt about, which is almost always the source of a grudge, it doesn't really exist. It's illusory. It's a made-up idea. So I believe that that's where our contemplation needs to start in terms of forgiveness and moving past a grudge, is just identifying and understanding and kind of really, really feeling into what's behind all of this. Sense of self, as usual, made up idea, illusory. Maybe we can get some traction and some forward movement with regard to healing whatever resentments and grudges we might be having. And, in that sense, you guys, this really is the last thing, because it's 9 o'clock and we're out of time. This is the real last thing, is that there's something in wisdom teachings that is called the mirror of Dharma, MIRROR, the mirror of Dharma. And that means that we can use events and incidences and developments in the so-called external world to mirror back to us where our work is needed, where there's work for us to do and maybe opportunities to progress. For me, the conflict in Israel, in that region, is a mirror of Dharma. And guess what? Everything in the world for you has the potential to be a mirror of Dharma, to reflect back to you opportunities to develop wisdom and compassion and love and kindness and patient acceptance in everything. So it's how we can transform conflicts like what's happening in Israel to meaningful things, rather than just dwelling in the sadness of the whole thing and just being sad for the sake of sadness. We can turn it into something meaningful and healing for ourselves and the world. Okay. Happy Monday, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Bye, you guys. Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're most
Bye,
welcome.
Jeff.
Thanks for being here, you guys.